We were just told that there has been tear gas in the rotunda, and we're being instructed to each of us get gas masks that are under our seats.
We will never give up. We will never concede. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
And so what was going on? I mean, if you look at video footage of the absolute chaos, you'll notice that it didn't seem like cops were doing much to control the situation. They were ill prepared. They were outnumbered by these domestic terrorists. And so how could that be when there have been threats of violence regarding this very day for weeks now? It's pretty strange. But I also think it's important to look at some of the video footage we've seen on social media of cops being incredibly friendly to these domestic terrorists. Let's start off with the first video, which features some selfies taking place.
ACAF.
Great. So, John, literally taking selfies with some of these people, breaking all the rules. I mean, if a black person was accused of trespassing, that's all the right wing would cite as justification for a cop shooting and killing them immediately, even if that person didn't pose an imminent threat. In this case, we're talking about armed people breaking into the Capitol building, and you have cops taking selfies with them. Yeah. I mean, the white supremacy within our law enforcement is just so clear. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we point out hypocrisy all the time, and what we look for is consistency, and this is at least consistency. I mean, like the cops always love the right-wing protesters. They always do. They love them so much that they're willing to overlook things, like storming the building they're defending, or routinely ambushing and murdering cops, or plotting to overthrow the government, which would involve killing tons of them. They're willing to overlook those things because they have that connection, No, seriously, like I tweeted earlier, like they could assassinate and kill a dozen cops a day for the next 10 years, and the cops would never be as mad at the right as they are at the left for asking for like a tiny bit of less funding to them until they get their act together. Like they're always gonna be on the side. They're literally like they were assaulting the cops. They were bashing through their thing. Like I don't get it. I get that you politically agree with them and you like them, but they want to brutalize you and possibly kill you.
So I want to also address something because I'm seeing some people make the argument that, well, they were outnumbered, so what were the cops gonna do? No, I totally recognize that they were outnumbered. That's not what I'm specifically talking about in this story. I'm talking about cops taking photos, selfies with these domestic terrorists. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about video footage showing them literally opening the barricades to make way for them, to allow them to come in. That video exists. John mentioned it before we went live, and I watched it. It's out of control. They encourage this in some cases. The cops love this in some. I don't want to make a generalization, but the cops that enabled this certainly love these Trump supporters. They don't care about protecting the Capitol building, and they should be fired. They should be. They should deal with the consequences.
So to play devil's advocate, I have seen some tape of cops really trying in difficult situations. Single cop, like there was something, a cop or a security guard. I honestly don't know. I have no. It could be whoever. It could be Secret Service. It could be FBI. I have no idea. But it was one cop facing down a whole group and really like running armed retreat trying to stop them as they move through the building. So I have seen stuff like that. And there is a case to be made that in some cases, there you go, that's actually one of them. So there's a case to be made that in some cases, hypothetically, they could have escalated the use of force, but these are insane terrorists who are armed to the gills that haven't yet started other than once shooting people. So maybe if you don't do it, then less people die. And that only makes sense if you ignore the fact that there could have been 10 cops for every single one that was there. They had all the warning, for whatever reason they didn't have that. And that they clearly don't make those sorts of calculations when dealing with non-white people. So if you ignore those things, I sort of understand not wanting to escalate the use of violence, maybe.
No, definitely,
but we understand
John,
the context.
and also, we understand the context. They knew, everyone in the country knew that there was a possibility of today happening, right? Why were they ill prepared for this? Like, that's the question.